A discussion on the right to education took place at the Human Rights and Humanitarian Forum in Los Angeles this year. Organized by the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative in collaboration with UCLA's The Promise Institute for Human Rights, the event brought together global leaders in education and social equity. Louise Richardson, the president of Carnegie Corporation of New York and Aurora Prize Selection Committee member, moderated the conversation. The panel featured CEO and co-founder of Teach for All, Wendy Kopp, professor of law, Marguerite Bradley, founder of the MV Foundation, Shantha Sinha, and the inaugural Aurora Prize laureate, Marguerite Barankitse. Together, they explored how access to education can empower vulnerable communities, sharing insights from their diverse experiences.
The daily reality for Afghan girls and women has become bleak and disheartening under the Taliban regime. The emotional toil of living with limited prospects and an uncertain future cannot be overstated.
Wendy Kopp, CEO and co-founder of Teach for All, addressed the global education crisis, emphasizing the urgent need to prioritize learning, especially in underprivileged areas. Through Teach for All, an organization operating in 62 countries, Kopp works to create opportunities for leadership that result in systemic changes in education. She highlighted the alarming declines in learning outcomes worldwide, but pointed to the transformative potential of local leadership.
We're in the midst of an absolute learning crisis. Somehow we just need to reset in terms of the priority that we put on education.
Kopp stressed that sustainable progress requires a network of dedicated individuals across communities. She believes that local leadership and collective action are key to solving critical issues in the education system in a way that is impactful, meaningful, and long-lasting.
That in any community where there are enough people working throughout the ecosystem around kids, as teachers, as school leaders, as government administrators, as policymakers, as social innovators and advocates pushing on the system, you essentially start moving the system forward.
Shantha Sinha, founder of MV Foundation and professor of political science at the University of Hyderabad, spoke about her decades-long fight against child labor in India, where she has worked to bring marginalized children, particularly girls, into schools. Her organization challenges systemic inequalities and promotes education as a universal right. Sinha emphasizes the importance of establishing social norms that reject child labor and recognizes education as a fundamental right.
Building a norm that no child must work, every child must be in school. In fact, talking about being shocked that a child is not in school, outraged that a child is not in school. This establishing of social norm was the key to our program.
Marguerite Bradley, a professor of law at UCLA, noted the persistent challenges in implementing free and quality education globally. She highlighted the principle of subsidiary, centering solutions around those most affected, and described education as a political act.
I recently stepped down as vice chancellor here at UCLA. I worked to lead our civil rights division and our equity, diversity, inclusion division. The backlash against thinking about diversity, about equity, and about inclusion for all has been politicalized. For people who are doing that work, it always tries to center the dignity of the human being.
Marguerite Barankitse shared her personal journey of using education as a tool to heal divisions and build peace in the war-torn Great Lakes region of Africa. Her work began as a response to ethnic violence that claimed 60 members of her family. Driven by a vision of unity, she founded Maison Shalom, which provides education and community support for children from different ethnic groups.
I adopted kids, Hutu and Tutsi together, to show to my community that's the problem. It's not ethnic. It's bad governance, bad leaders, politicians who are not good educated.
Despite threats and displacement, Barankitse transformed refugee camps into thriving communities, proving education's power to change and rebuild lives.
Never give up. I am so happy to share this story because everybody wrote crazy woman of Burundi. I accept and I wish that you can have this craziness, then you will change the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
The panelists also reflected on the broader role of education beyond academics. Shantha Sinha described how schools provide safety, routine, and community support for children.
During COVID, we got to know that school is for friendship. School is for the routine and a habit of packing a school bag. School is for health. School is for a noon meal program. School is for having a mentor and a teacher. The school is a safe place for children to be in.
The discussion concluded with calls to action and an emphasis on the critical role of education in addressing global inequalities and shaping a better future.
How do we enlist many, many more of the most passionate advocates in the world to put their energy in marginalized communities into ensuring that all kids have the kind of education necessary to ultimately shape a better future for themselves, for their families, for their communities, for their countries, for our global society.
Some powerful themes emerging here: the power of community, the importance of community, and indeed the politicization of education. And please join me in thanking our fabulous panelists.